Hey guys, Mickey here. Just want to go over you guys about rulings. This is the most important thing you can ever learn in this game. Most importantly right now, I want to talk about the battle phase. Now this is a situation that came up at locals. It actually won the guy the game. This is a kind of new ruling. So let's get into this. First of all, how many steps are in the battle phase? Do you know? There are 4 steps. Not only that, there are 7 sub-steps. We have the start of the battle phase. Now this is where you have to declare entering the battle phase. Now, entering the battle phase does not mean you declare attacks. It just means you're changing phases. Now this gives the other player a chance to activate cards. You know, maybe Valor. Maybe, activate Threatening Roars. Stuff like that. Now is the battle step. This is where you start attack declaration. You must announce that you're going to attack. You must announce you're doing, hey, Laggy is attacking your face down. You gotta announce that. Now, the turn player has their chance to activate cards, player priority. When an attack is declared, the turn player gets to activate effects. The turn player decides, hey, I don't want to do that. Pass the priority, and your opponent has a chance to activate something. Now, here's another step. Before damage step. Cards that don't activate within the direct declaration of the attack. Now, cards that do activate in the direct declaration of the attack, Mirror Force, Dimensional Prison. Now, this is a chance where you get to activate anything else that doesn't happen within regular battle step. Multiple changes can happen before you even enter damage calculation. Before damage step, guess what comes next? Damage step. Now, this is where, monsters get flip-faced up. Cards that can actually be activated within the damage step. You have counter traps, like the Warning Brigade. You have, Debunk also can activate, but also you have any quick spells, spell speed 2s, that change attack and defense. That's where you have Lance, Chalice, Limiter Removal. Those are 3, I think, of the most common you'll actually see played. Limiter Removal being the less common you'll actually see. And there's also effects that happen within the damage step that would activate now. Those are usually multi-trigger monster effects and negate, cards that negate. Now, sub-step 1. This is the fun part. Start of the damage step. First you apply the effects of monsters, like Marshmallow. Then you activate trigger effects. DD Warrior Lady is a trigger effect. Most of these effects will happen like if it destroys a monster. Like DD Assailant. That's when it'll activate. Effects that start a chain will activate then. Stuff like that. This is also the sub-step 1 is where you activate like Chalice, Lance. All that good jazz. Sub-step 2, flipping the face-down monster up. Pretty self-explanatory. This is when shit gets flip-faced up. Then effects will activate because they're not destroyed yet. And then there's before damage calculation, which, effects activate at this time. And once again, you can still activate Lance and Chalice and all that jazz. Substep 4, during damage calculation. It's specific. It basically just says, hey, this is where continuous effects happen if it's face down. Spirit Reaper Marshmallow. Sorry about that. Now, remember, you can still activate Lance and Chalice and Lunar Removal during any of these sub-steps. You know, if a monster by a card effect is destroyed, its effect remains on the chain. So that's actually really important. Substep 5, battle damage. This is where you actually get damaged. You know, like piercing and all that fun jazz. Now, substep 6 is where you resolve effects. You know, like Marshmallow finally resolves. Doom Cow may resolve at this point. This is where BLS would activate. I believe either that or he would activate on substep 3 because it's a trigger effect. But technically the monsters are not sent to the graveyard until substep 7. So there's actually a lot of things that can happen before it's even sent to the graveyard. Now, why that's important. This came up at locals. Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning versus Doom Caliber Knight. Now some of you may say, hey, Doom Cal can't negate BLS's trigger effect. He's destroyed by the time BLS activates. That's wrong. Doom Cal is still technically on the field when BLS would trigger his effect. Just because BLS would finally destroy him, it's not sent to the graveyard yet. It is still on the field. So Doom Cal, being a mandatory effect, would be forced to negate BLS's trigger effect. That ended up winning Matt the game on Wednesday against Chaos Dragons. You know, that's why a really good Doom Cal play can win you the game. Doom Cal is a very smart card. Even, unless you're, you know, it's not a card you want to play stupidly. Because it baits out Veilers if, per se, they Veiler Doom Cal. Why the fuck not? Or, it's really helpful when they drop an Honest, sort of. It depends on the situation. I don't necessarily agree with a first turn Doom Cal, because so much little effects can happen that really won't matter. A mid-game Doom Cal will just be like, no, you ain't gonna do shit. You know, that's just my food for thought today. Keep in mind, guys, rulings are your best friend. Even some of you might hate rule badgers. Listen to them. It matters when you can do something or when something happens. It will win you the game. It will change the game state. And it's worth learning all the little tidbits. Now that I'm done boring you for 9 minutes, have a great time, guys. Learn your rules. Have fun dueling. Deuces.